जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव, गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव। जय प्रभुपाद की जय हो। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय हो। हरे कृष्ण माताजी, दंडवत प्रणाम। मंगलाचरण माताजी करूं मैं?
मंगलाचरण करूं?
हाँ ओके माताजी। शॉर्ट वाला करूं माताजी?
छोटा वाला।
हाँ ओके। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानं जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वप्नदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथावितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखावितांश्च। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपाद की जय हो। हरे कृष्ण माता जी, प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So we are into the discussion of second canto of Bhagavatam, Purusha Sutta Kanto. There is a chapter which is going on. Which is the verse?
40 माता जी.
2.6.40. So here Brahmaji says, though I am known as the great Brahma, 35th verse, though I have undergone austerities, still I cannot understand Krishna. Very difficult to understand Lord. From 40th verse. From 35th verse we are seeing how Lord can be understood. Only some few aspects of Lord, some few appearances of Lord can be understood. Even if you see in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, though I have elaborately described about my few appearances, I have not yet given all the appearances. But whatever you see around, yadyapi vibhuti matsatvam srimadurjitamayavam tattadeva avagachattam mamatejonsa sambhavam. From that you can understand these are all my appearances. Whatever vibhutis you are seeing around. 40th verse. Vishuddham kevalam jnanam pratyak samyak avasthitam satyam purnam anadyantam nirgunam nityam advayam ऋषे विदन्ति मुनयः प्रशान्तात्मेन्द्रियाशयाः यदा तदेवासक्तैर्वासक्तैस्थिरो ह्येत विप्लुतम् इन्द्रिय. विशुद्धं केवलं ज्ञानं प्रत्यक् सम्यक् अवस्थितं सत्यं पूर्णम् अनाद्यन्तं गुणं नित्यम् अद्वयम् ऋषे विदन्ति मुनयः प्रशान्तात्मेन्द्रियाश्रयः यदा तदेवासक्तर्कैस्थिरोधियेत विप्लुतम्. Now Lord is Vishuddham. Vishesharupena Shuddha. Vishuddham. And how is Lord Vishuddham? And then Kevalam. He's so pure. He's so perfect. Kevalam. Jnanam. About him, every knowledge is perfect. Pratyag, he is all pervading. Samyak is always full. Avasthitam, situated. Is always situated. Where Satyam is truth, is absolute, Purnam. Anadi, without any beginning. Antam, as also without any end. Nirgunam, he is devoid of material modes. Nityam, eternal. Advayam, he has no rival. O Narada, O the great sage. Vidanti Munayaha, Munayahas can understand. Prashantaha, they can be pacified. Atma Indriyaha, Ashayaha, when they completely surrender the senses to him. Yada, why? Tat, that. Evaha, Asat. Tarkaihi, they are into always into arguments. Tiraha diye, when this type of things disappear, then this tark is there, argument is there, then Lord disappears from the sight. Viplukam. So what happens? Everything is distorted. Lord is not available to the Gyanis. Lord is not available to the people who are into arguments. That is why in Vrindavan such arguments never exist. When Jiva Goswami argued with Vallabhachari, Rupa Goswami clearly told, you go out of Vrindavan. Vrindavan is not the place for tark. Wherever tark is there Lord doesn't stay. So Lord is known only when a person is taken shelter. He said here, O Narada, O great sage, the great thinkers can know him when completely freed from all material hankerings and when sheltered under undisturbed conditions of the senses. Otherwise, all these arguments, everything is distorted, Lord disappears from the sight. So the importance of taking shelter has been given here. Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityaja. What is the meaning of Sarvadharman Parityaja? Give up all sorts of tark with it. Sarvadharman Parityaja. One may have many occupations. One refers to many occupations. Some may say, I have the occupation of always arguing. So if a person is always into argument, that is his occupation. He is a thinker, that is his occupation. Krishna very clearly says, come out of all these things. Just accept Krishna is almighty. If a person is into argument, Krishna says, then Brahmaji is telling to Narada. Because Muni means, very clearly in Bhagavad Gita, it has been given. Who is a Muni? Who is always into Tarka Vitarka? Who always gives his opinion? Find out in which purport Prabhupada has given about Muni. There's a nice verse where about Muni has been given. Who is a Muni? Veera Muni. That Muni word has been described. Muni is a person who always gives his opinion. And whenever somebody is giving his opinion or her opinion, their opinions always change. We are not into giving some opinions. We are into accepting whatever Krishna has given. We don't want to give some opinions to anyone. So that is why preaching should not be I think, you think. What Krishna says, that is preaching. I may have different concepts, but that is not perfect. Perfection lies in whatever is given in the scripture, just accept. Here very clearly Krishna says, any tarka vitarka happens, Krishna, the knowledge is distorted over there. Because it is not coming down from the sampradaya. Distorted here means what? It is completely like the real knowledge is gone. It's distorted. That is why knowledge comes through disciplic succession, and we have to just accept whatever is given through disciplic succession. If somebody says, according to me, according to my opinion, then understand they are not devotees. How to identify who is a devotee? Devotee, D word is very important.
D of devotee is very important word. Don't call everybody as a devotee. Devotee is one who is always dependent on Krishna. Devotee is one who always accepts what Krishna says, what the authorities say. If somebody likes to think about whatever he likes to do, she likes to do, then on the garb of a devotee. Simple. Everybody dresses now. So another one dresses taking a garb of a devotee. Just accept whatever has been told, you have to accept. Accept the scriptures. Accept the words of the spiritual master. Finish. That is devotion. There is nothing beyond that. That is what has been given here. Tarka vitarka disappears. Krishna disappears. Krishna flies away from that place. He says, what I have to do in that place? Argue and sit. And that is how Kalivas comes. Okay. Aruna, read.
Mataji 2.56, Muni. Muni. 2.56.
Read the verse. And read about the Muni also.
Anudvigna manaha sukeshu vigatas praha vitaragavaya koda tadir munir uchyate.
Read about Muni.
Prabhupada ki jai. The word Muni means one who can agitate his mind in various ways for mental speculation without coming to a factual conclusion. It is said that every Muni has a different angle of vision, and unless a Muni differs from the other Munis, he cannot be called a Muni in the strict sense of the term.
Read that, Sanskrit read. Muni rasa.
Nasava rishir yasya matam na bhinnam. Mahabharata Vanaparva 313.117.
Muni rasa matirna bhinnam. If your mati is not bhinnam, you are not Muni. According to you can call yourself Muni only when you give your mental speculation. Then you are a Muni. Who is a Bhakta who doesn't have mental speculation? Who is a Muni?
But a Stita Dhir Muni.
Our Niranjan Muni always has Tarka Vitarka. Muni means one who always differs. Bhishma Parma is speaking about it, right? Is speaking about Muni Asa Namatirna Bhinnam. Okay. Read the.
माता जी वो कभी एक मत नहीं होते ऐसा ना, कभी उनका एक मत नहीं होता है. Okay.
Okay. Text 40-41. Vishuddham kevalam jnanam pratyak samyag avasthitam satyam purnamanadhyantam nirgunam nityam advayam rishe vidanti munayah prashantatmendriyashayah yada tadeva sattarkair stirodiyeta viplutam. Niranjan Muni. Sorry. Purport. The personality of Godhead is pure, being free from all contaminations of material pleasures. He is the absolute truth and the embodiment of full and perfect knowledge. He is all-pervading, without beginning or end, and without rival. O Narada, O great sage, the great thinkers can know him when completely freed from all material hankerings and when sheltered under the undisturbed conditions of the senses. Otherwise, by untenable arguments, all is distorted and the Lord disappears from our sight. Purport. Here is an estimation of the Lord apart from his transcendental activities in the temporary material creations. Mayavada philosophy tries to designate the Lord as contaminated by a material body when he accepts forms of incarnation. This sort of interpolation is completely denied herein by the explanation that the Lord's position is pure and unalloyed in all circumstances. According to Mayavada philosophy, the spiritual soul, when covered by nescience, is designated as Jiva, but when freed from such ignorance or nescience, he merges in the impersonal existence of the absolute truth. But here it is said that The Lord is eternally the symbol of full and perfect knowledge. This is his speciality, perpetual freedom from all material contaminations. This distinguishes the Lord from the individual, common living entities who have the aptitude for being subordinated by nescience and thus becoming materially designated. In the Vedas, it is said that the Lord is Vijnanam Anandam, full of bliss and knowledge. The conditioned souls are never to be compared to him because such individual souls have the tendency to become contaminated. Although after liberation, the living entity can become one with the same quality of existence as the Lord, his very tendency to become contaminated, which the Lord never has, makes the individual living entity different from the Lord. In the Vedas, it is said, Shuddham Apapavidham. The individual Atma becomes polluted by sin, but the Lord is never contaminated by sins. The Lord is compared to the powerful sun. The sun is never contaminated by anything infectious because it is so powerful. On the contrary, infected things are sterilized by the rays of the sun. Similarly, Lord is never contaminated by sins. On the contrary, the sinful living entities become sterilized by contact with the Lord. This means that the Lord is all pervading like the sun, and as such, the word pratyak is used in this verse. Nothing is excluded from the existence of the Lord's potential expansions. The Lord is within everything, and He is all covering also, without being disturbed by the activities of the individual souls. He is therefore infinite, and the living entities are infinitesimal. In the Vedas, it is said that only the Lord alone exists, and all others' existences depend on Him. He is the generating reservoir for everyone's existential capacity. He is the supreme truth of all other categorical truths. He is the source of everyone's opulence, and therefore no one can equal him in opulence. Being full of all opulences, namely wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, certainly he is the supreme person. And because he is a person, he has many personal qualities. Although he is transcendental to the material modes. We have already discussed the statement, Ittam Bhuta Guno Harihi, Bhagavatam 1.7.10. His transcendental qualities are so attractive that even the liberated souls, Atmaramas, are also attracted by them. Although possessed of all personal qualities, he is nevertheless omnipotent. Therefore, personally, he has nothing to do, for everything is being carried out by his omnipotent energies. This is confirmed by the Vedic mantras Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate Swabhaviki Jnana Balakriya Cha. This suggests his specific spiritual form which can never be experienced by material senses. He can be seen only when the senses are purified by devotional service. Yam evaisha prunute tena labhyaha. As such, there are basic differences between the Lord and the living entities in many respects. No one can be compared to the Lord as the Vedas declare, Ekam eva dvitiyam brahma dvaitad vai bhayam bhavati. The Lord has no competitor. He has nothing to fear from any other being, nor can anyone be equal to him. Although he is the root of all beings, there are basic differences between him and other beings. Otherwise, there would have been no necessity for the statement in the previous verse that no one can know him 100% as he is Nayam Vidanti Tatvena. That no one can fully understand him is explained also in this verse, but the qualification for understanding to some degree is mentioned here. Only the prashantas or unalloyed devotees of the Lord can know him to a greater extent. The reason is that the devotees have no demands in their lives but to be obedient servants of the Lord, while all others, namely the empiric philosophers and the mystics and the fruitive workers, All basically have some demand, and as such, they cannot be pacified. The fruitive worker wants reward for his work. The mystic wants some perfection of life. And the empiric philosopher wants to merge in the existence of the Lord. Somehow or the other, as long as there is a demand for sense satisfaction, there is no chance for pacification. On the contrary, by unnecessary, dry, speculative arguments, the whole matter becomes distorted, and thus the Lord moves still further away from our understanding. The dry speculators, however, because of their following the principles of austerity and penance, can have knowledge of the impersonal features of the Lord to some extent. But there is no chance of their understanding his ultimate form as Govinda, because only the Atmaramas, only the Amalatmanas or the completely sinless persons can accept pure devotional service to be Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7.28. Esham tvantagatam papam jnananam punyakarmanam जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोह निर्मुक्त भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः. हरे कृष्ण.
So Nayamatma pravachanena labhyas na medhaya na bhavunashten tameva isha vrutatena labhyas tameva isha vrutatena yameva isha vrutatena labhyas tasya atma vrutitan swam. That has been given. Yameva isha vrutatena labhyas. By our senses we can never understand Krishna. So tarka arguments, they are only done by the impersonalists who try to think about Lord in their own mental speculative way. They don't accept the form of Krishna. That is why they are arguing. And Krishna says very clearly, Brahmaji says, Krishna doesn't stay in the place where arguments are there. 42nd verse.
माता जी सॉरी टू डिस्टर्ब यू, माता बैकग्राउंड में आपके बहुत आवाज आ रहा है.
बैकग्राउंड में आवाज आ रहा है,
कोई बात कर रहा है,
बैकग्राउंड में आवाज
तो सुना ही नहीं दे रहा है फिर माता जी आपका.
वो इसलिए कि मेरे प्रभु जी जोर जोर से यहाँ कीर्तन कर रहे, आवाज नहीं, यहाँ सुना ही नहीं दे रहा. अभी मत कहो, बाद में. आद्योऽवतार पुरुष परस्य काल स्वभाव असदसन्मनश्च द्रव्यं विकारो गुण इन्द्रियाणि विराट स्वराट् स्थास्नु चरिष्णु भुम्नः. आद्योऽवतार पुरुष परस्य काल स्वभाव सदसन्मनश्च द्रव्यं विकारो गुण इन्द्रियाणि विराट स्वराट् स्थास्नु चरिष्णु भुम्नः. Beautiful verses. O Lord, you are the Adya, you are the first avatar, your first incarnation is Karnadaksha Vishnu. Parasyah Kalah Swabhavah. So, Kala Swabhavaha, that is space. Sat Asat. The Sat means the cause, the result. Sat, Asat is the cause. Manaha, the mind. Now, why the Sat Asat has been given? Jagat Satyam. What is the cause? Cause is Asat. Our own vasanas are actually Asat. But what you see is Sat. The body is Sat. Though it appears for some time, but it is Sat. Why it has appeared? Because of Asat. And what is it Asat? That is a cause. Our own vasanas are the cause. The man, dravyam, the elements, 24 elements, vikara, material ego, guna, modes of nature, indriyani, the senses, virat, the whole, complete whole body, swarat, garbhodakshai Vishnu, sthasnu, immovable, charishnu, movable, bhumnaha, of the Supreme Lord. So whatever we see, the sum total of living entities, that is moving, sthavara, jangama, dekhe, na dekhe, taramurti, everything belongs to Krishna. And Karnadaksha Vishnu is the first incarnation in to deal with all these material elements. So Mahasankarshan expands as Karanadakshai Vishnu. And then afterwards, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Shirodakshai Vishnu. Again, the in charge is Karanadakshai Vishnu. He is the master for the time, space, cause, effect, everything. Okay. So Yasyaika Nishvasitakara Mathavarambya Jivanti Loma Viraja Jagadandalataha Vishnor Mahasaya Yasya Kala Vishesho Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Vajami. So from Brahma Samhita also the verse has been put. Every universe is maintained by Mahavishnu, Karanadakshai Vishnu. Just by his breathing, universes emanate. From his pores emanate, all the universes emanate. He glancing in Mahatattva, impregnating the Mahatattva, and then how the Brahmandas emanate, the thing is there. Okay. Bindu Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. आद्यो अवतारः पुरुष परस्य काला स्वभावः सत् असन् मनश्च द्रव्यं विकारो गुण इन्द्रियाणि विराट् स्वराट् स्थास्नु चरिष्णु भुम्नः. Translation: Karnavasyayi Vishnu is the first incarnation of the Supreme.
Karanadakshai Vishnu.
Karanadakshai Vishnu is the first incarnation of the Supreme Lord, and he is the master of eternal time, space, cause and effects, mind, the elements, the material ego, the modes of nature, the senses, the universal form of the Lord, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and the sum total of all living beings, both moving and non-moving. Purport: that the material creation is not permanent has been discussed many times herein before. The material creation is but a temporary exhibition of the material energy of the Almighty God. This material manifestation is necessary to give a chance to the conditioned soul who are unwilling to associate with the Lord in the relationship of loving transcendental service. Such unwilling conditioned souls are not allowed to enter into the liberated life or spiritual existence because at heart they are not willing to serve. Instead, they want to enjoy themselves as imitation gods. The living entities are constitutionally eternal servitors of the Lord, but some of them, because of misusing their independence, do not wish to serve. Therefore, they are allowed to enjoy the material nature, which is called Maya or illusion. It is called illusion because the living beings under the clutches of Maya are not factually enjoyers, although they think that they are being illusioned by Maya. Such illusion being entities are given a chance at intervals to rectify their perverted mentality of becoming false masters of the material nature, and they are imparted lessons from the Vedas about their eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Vedescha sarver ahameva vedya. So the temporary creation of the material manifestation is an exhibition of the material energy of the Lord. And to manage the whole show, the Supreme Lord incarnates himself as Karnodakshai Vishnu, just as a magistrate is deputed by the government to manage affairs temporarily. This Karnodakshai Vishnu caused the manifestation of material creation by looking over his material energy, Sa Ek Shata. In the first volume of this book, we have already discussed to some extent the explanation of the verse Jagre Paurusham Rupam. The duration of the illusionary play of
material creation is called Kalpa. And we have already discussed the creations taking place in Kalpa after Kalpa. By his creation and potential activities, the complete ingredients of creation, namely time, space, cause, result, mind, the gross and subtle elements, and their interactional modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, and then the senses and their reservoir source, the gigantic universal form as the second incarnation, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and all living beings, both moving and standing, which come out of the second incarnation, all become manifested. Ultimately, all these creative elements and the creation itself are but potential manifestations of the Supreme Lord. Nothing is independent of the control of the Supreme Being. This first incarnation is the material creation, namely Karnodaksha Vishnu, in the plenary part of the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, described in the Brahma Samhita 5.48 as follows. Yasyaikanishwasita kalam athavalambya जीवन्ति
जीवन्ति
लोकदाण्डनाथः विष्णुर्महान् स यस्य कालः विशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Okay.
All the innumerable universes are maintained only during the breathing period of Mahavishnu or Karnodaksha Vishnu, who is only a plenary part of Govinda, the original personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam.
Now, Lord's opulences has been discussed in this big verse 43 to 45. All the transcendental potency, just a fragmental of transcendental potency. Ekamshena sthita jagat, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter. What will you know the potency? Even all these potencies, if we know Ekamshena sthita jagat, just by one fragment, the whole existence remain. And one can understand how opulent is Krishna. Why to know so many things? Krishna says, you want to know so many things. Why you should know so many things? If you come to know this much, at least Ekamshena sthita jagat, then one can understand how the potency of Lord. So 43 to 45. Aham bhavo yakya ime prajesha dakshadayo ye bhavadadayascha swarlokapala khagalokapala lulokapala stalalokapala. So we'll discuss one verse first. 43rd verse. Krishna, here Brahmaji says, Aham, Brahma, Bhuva, Lord Shiva, Yakya, Lord Vishnu, Ime, all these, Praja Ishaha, the generators of living beings, such as Prajapatis, like Daksha and Prajapatis, Dakshadyaha, then Manus, Ye Bhavat, yourself, Adyaha, and Adyacha, the bachelors, that is Sanat Kumar and his brothers, Swaraloka Palaham, heavenly demigods, the leaders of the heavenly demigods, Khagaloka Palaha, Khaga, that is space travelers, leaders of the space travelers, Naraloka Palaha, the leaders of the mankind, then Talaloka Palaha, the leaders of the lower planets. Then let us see. Gandharva Vidya Dharacharaniša Ye Yakshara Kshora Gaga Yakshara Gaga. Wait, this is light now. Yeah. Ye Yakshara Yakshara Kshora. Somebody read this. I am not able to see.
Mataji, may I do?
Yeah, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Do that line just.
हाँ.
Because
ये
this is not so clear.
यक्षरक्षोरगणागनाथाः
Yes, yes. 1 minute. Where it went?
ये
Hmm.
यक्षरक्षरोगनागनाथा
यक्षरक्षरग नागनाथः येवा ऋषीणां ऋषिभिः पितॄणां दैत्येन्द्रसिद्धेश्वर
दानवेन्द्र
दैत्येन्द्रसिद्धेश्वर दानवेन्द्रः. Off this light now, Haribol. Off this orange light. Because of that, I am not able to see properly. Dasyendra Siddheshwara Dhanubendraha. Now it is clear. See. It was all reflecting. Eva. Okay. So Gandharva. Gandharva, that is the residence of Gandharva Loka. Vidyadhara, the residence of Vidyadhara per planet. Then Charana Loka, the leaders of Charanas. Others, Yaksha, the leaders of Yaksha. Raksha, the lemons. Then Uragaha, snakes. Naganataha, the leaders of Nagaloka. Ye, others, Va, Rushinam, the sages. Rushabha, the chief. Pitrunam, the forefathers. Then comes Daityendraha, the leaders of Athis. Everything has been covered here, so see. Then Siddha Ishwaraha, the leaders of the Siddhaloka. Siddha Ishwaraha, leaders of the Siddha planets. Then Danavaha Indraha, Danava Indraha, the leaders of non-Aryans. Till here has been spoken. Now what about, why all the names have been given? Let us see. Then we read up to Danavendraha. Then more is left. Anyecha ye preta pishacha bhutah. Krishmanda yadoho mrugapaksha dhisha. So further we'll go. Anye, that means besides them, cha also ye those preta, dead bodies, pishacha, evil spirits, bhutah, the jinn, bhuta, kashmando, special type of evil spirit, yadaha, that is aquatics, nruga, that is animals, paksha adishaha, giant eagles. Further, yatkincha loke bhagavan mahasya doja sahasvad balavat kshamavat shiri vibhutyatma vadadgutaranam tatvam param rupa vadasya rupam. Further, yat kinchaha. Yat means anything. Kinchaha, everything. Loke, in this world. Bhagavat, possessed of Bhaga, or extraordinary power. Mahasvat, of a special degree. Ojaha Sahasvat, specific mental and sensual dexterity. Balavat, possessed of sense, strength. Shamavat, possessed of forgiveness. Shri, beauty. Hari, ashamed of impious acts. Vibhuti, riches. Atmavati, possessed of intelligence. Adbhuta, wonderful. Aradam, race. Tattvam, specific truth. Then comes Param, transcendental, Rupavat, as if the form of Anvarupam, not the form of the Lord. So all these, whatever has been given, it may appear as a specific truth, Tattvam. It is appearing, just appearing as a truth. But factually they are not. They appear to be the truth and the form of the Lord. But actually they are not. They are only potency of Krishna. They appear to be his form. Because there are so many people who consider anything as Lord. Anyone, everyone as Lord. Somebody is worshipping Baba. Somebody worships Amma. Somebody is worshipping some Bhutapisa. Somebody is worshipping Bhutapisachi. There, if you see in Maharashtra, there are so many saints who call themselves as God. Like that also people are there. And there are foolish people who consider them as God. Like that also there are people. There are so many munis are there. And here also, people consider, here Brahmaji is studying, people consider me also as God. People consider Lord Shiva also God. Who is real God, they don't know. Anybody is calling themselves as God. Everything is potency of Krishna. So in this, you see, Vishnu is also included. That means 3 Vishnus are his potency. You cannot say 3 Vishnus are having all the qualities of Krishna. Vishnu restricts his qualities to exhibit. Vishati iti sarvatraha Vishnu. Okay, we can understand about others. Even Vishnu is included. Vishnu cannot be called as Lord at the same time. He cannot be called as Krishna, but he is not separate from Krishna. Vishnu cannot say that he is Krishna. At the same time, he is not different from Krishna. That means all the potency of Krishna is not exhibited when Krishna appears as 3 Vishnus. That is why when you say God, God means one who is exhibiting full form. That is why Ete Chamsa Kalap Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Vishnustu Bhagavan Swayam has not been given. Even Vishnu does not exhibit full form. Who is Vishnu Tattva, Narayana himself, still not exhibiting the fullest form. What to speak of Bhuta Pisachis and all? What to speak of Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Charanas? So that is been given. And what to speak of living entities, ordinary living entities getting some siddhis. Some Baba comes, some Vibhuti he is able to remove. And there are so many people who say, oh, I am there, don't worry. Krishna is there, don't worry. That should be told. I am behind you, don't worry. So all these things are foolishness actually. Guru Tattva, yes. You should accept them in the Guru Tattva. So Guru Tattva cannot become equal to God. Yes, Guru is there, one need not have to worry. But then calling Guru only as God, there lies foolishness. But one should worship Guru as good as God. But Guru should not say, I am God. The devotee should worship as good as God, yes. Because how the seva goes to God? Through Guru. So Guru is worshipped as good as God, but Guru should not find it very convenient to accept all these things. There are Gurus who find it very convenient. Oh, wonderful. I am only God, give everything to me. Guru also should know that he is also in asahaya sthiti. Sahara is only Krishna. Sahayata is only Lord. So Guru could not think that I am the protector. No. Guru only protects devotion, but ultimately he is also requiring protection. So these are very important aspects. You see, all has been included. Brahmaji has not left anything. Whatever pious, impious, whatever wrong, right, whatever good people, bad people, everybody has been included in this. Everything is potency of Krishna. The big verse, it can be shared. Okay, if you see the 44th verse, it has 3 lines. So, Vrinda Mataji, you can read. Nila Mataji. You read,
Hare Krishna.
read all the 3 verses, read the purport.
अहम् अहं भवो यज्ञ इमे प्रजेशा दक्षादयो ये भवद् आद्यश्च स्वलोकपालः खगलोकपालः निर्लोकपालस्तललोकपालः गन्धर्वविद्याधरचारणेश ये यक्षरक्षरोगनागनाथ ये वा ऋषीणां ऋषभाः पितॄणां दैत्येन्द्रसिद्धेश्वरदानवेन्द्राः अन्ये च ये प्रेतपिशाच भूता कुष्माण्डयादौ मृगपक्षि आदिशः यत्किञ्च लोके भगवन्महस्वात् ओजः सहस्वत् बलवत् क्षमावात् श्रीहरिविभूति आत्मवद् अद्भुतार्णाम् तत्त्वं परं रूपवद् अस्वरूपम् I, myself, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, great generators of living beings like Daksha and Prajapati, yourself, Narada and the Kumaras, heavenly demigods like Indra and Chandra, the leaders of the Bhura Loka planets, the leaders of the earthly planets, the leaders of the lower planets, the leaders of the Gandharva planets, the leaders of the Vidyadhar planets, the leaders of the Charana Loka, Charanloka planets, the leaders of the Yakshas, Rakshas, and Uragas, the great sages, the great demons, the great atheists, and the great spacemen, as well as the dead bodies, evil spirits, satans, jinn, kushamandals, great aquatics, great beasts, and great birds, etc. In other words, anything and everything which is exceptionally possessed of power, opulence, mental and perceptual dexterity, strength, forgiveness, beauty, modesty, opulence, and breeding, whether in form or formless, may appear to be the specific truth and the form of the Lord, but actually they are not so. They are only a fragment of the transcendental potency of the Lord. Purport. Those in the list given above, beginning from the name Brahmaji, the first living creature within the universe, down to Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, Narada, and other powerful demigods, men, supermen, sages, rishis, and other lower creatures of extraordinary strength and opulence, including the dead bodies, satans, evil spirits, jinn, aquatics, birds, and beasts, may appear to be the Supreme Lord, but factually none of them is the Supreme Lord. Every one of them possesses only a fragment of the great potencies of the Supreme Lord. The less intelligent man is surprised to see the wonderful actions of material phenomena, as the aborigines are fearful of a great thunderbolt, a great and gigantic banyan tree, or a great lofty mountain in the jungle. For such undeveloped human beings, merely the slight display of the Lord's potency is captivating. A still more advanced person is captivated by the powers of the demigods and goddesses. Therefore, those who are simply astonished by the powers of anything in the creation of the Lord, without any factual information of the Lord Himself, are known as Shaktas or worshippers of the great powers. The modern scientist is also captivated by the wonderful actions and reactions of natural phenomena, and therefore is also a Shakta. These lower grade persons gradually rise to become Sauryas, worshippers of the sun god, or Gadapatyas, worshippers of the mass of people, as Janata Janardan or Daridra Narayan, etc., in the form of Ganapati, and then rise to the platform of worshipping Lord Shiva in search for the ever existing soul, and then to the stage of worshipping Lord Vishnu, the super soul, etc., without any information of Govinda, Lord Krishna, who is the original Lord Vishnu. In other ways, some are worshippers of race, nationality, birds, beasts, evil spirits, satans, etc. The general worship of Shanidev, the lord of distressful condition, and Shitala Devi, the goddess of smallpox, is also common to the mass of people. And there are many foolish men who worship the mass of people who worship some of the potent manifestations of the Lord, wrongly accepting the powerful object as God. But in this verse, it is advised by Brahmaji that none of them is the Supreme Lord. They are only borrowed plumes from the original Almighty Lord Sri Krishna. When the Lord advises in Bhagavad Gita to worship Him alone, it is to be understood that worshipping Lord Krishna includes worshipping all that. call he, Lord Krishna, includes everyone. When the Lord is described as formless in the Vedic literature, it is to be understood that all these forms mentioned above, within the experience of universal knowledge, are different exhibitions of the Lord's transcendental, and none of them actually represent the transcendental form of the Lord. But when the Lord actually descends to the earth or anywhere in the universe, the less intelligent class of men also mistake him to be one of them. And thus they imagine the transcendence to be formless or impersonal. Factually, the Lord is not formless, nor does he belong to any of the multi-forms experienced within the universal forms. One should try to know the truth about the Lord by following the instruction of Brahmaji. Hare Krishna.
The last verse. प्राधान्यतो यानुष आमनन्ति लीलावतारान् पुरुषस्य भूम्नः आपीयतां कर्णकषाय शोषान् अनु शोषान् अनुक्रमिष्येत इमान् सुपेशान्. Now, so pradhanyatah, that means chiefly, yan, all those, O Rishi, Punarda, anunanti, that means worship, anananti. What is the word? Not ananti, one minute. No, it is amananti, worship. Then Leela, past tense, asatara, that is avatara, incarnations, purushasya, of the personality, bhumnaha, the supreme. Then comes apiyati, in order to be released by you, karna, ears. Then karnaha kashaya, the foul matter, shoshan, that which evaporates, anukramishyam, shall state one after another, they, iman, as they are in my heart, supeshan, all pleasing to hear. So now here, O Narada, I shall state one after another the transcendental incarnations of the Lord, known as Leela Avataras. Hearing of their activities counteracts all foul matters accumulated in the ear. These pastimes are pleasing to hear and are to be relished, and they are in my heart. So 7th chapter actually describes about the scheduled incarnations with specific functions. So nicely it has been told here. Whatever foul matter is there in your ears, everything will go away if you hear about Lord. Brahmaji is also speaking like this, you see. Kashaya. Kashaya means foul matter. Generally in South, Kashaya means, what is Kashaya speaking, they say, na? Kada. Pakada.
Contaminated.
Kada, they say.
Kada.
Kashaya, they say, na? Pakada. But Kashaya actually refers to foul matter. So ears can be purified only when we hear about Krishna. So I'm going to speak about the Leela Avataras. So till now, what was spoken? So Purusha Avatara was spoken. Purush Sukta confirmed means Purusha Avatara is spoken. The 3 Purusha Avataras, Karanadakshai, Garbhodakshai and Shiradakshai. So Brahmaji is speaking about Purusha incarnations. And apart from that, again, when the second last verses, it has been given, even the Vishnus are dependent on Krishna. And now about Leela Avataras. That is how Krishna is Avatari, he is the Supreme. And when he appears in different incarnations, Purusha Avatara, now Leela Avataras in this state has been spoken. So what is the meaning of Leela Avatara? One who performs the Leela very playfully. For him, everything is like a playfully he's doing. Even he has to build a setu, it will be very playfully. Everything is done playfully. That is known as Leela. Okay. Bade Prabhuji has joined. Can you read Bade Prabhuji? He must be in the temple. Okay, Raksha Mataji, you read. Read.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sloka number 46. प्राधान्यतो यानुष आमनन्ति लीलावतारान् पुरुषस्य भूम्नः आपीयतां कर्णकषाय शोषा अनुक्रमेशेत इमान सुपेशान्. Translation: O Narad, now I shall state one after another the transcendental incarnation of the Lord known as Leela avatars. Hearing of their activities counteracts all foul matters accumulated in the ear. These pastimes are pleasing to hear and are to be relished. Therefore, they are in my heart. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. It was said in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.8, one cannot be fully satisfied by hearing unless and until one is given a chance to hear of the transcendental activities of the Lord. So Brahmaji is also trying in this verse to
Your voice is
manifest.
breaking. Yeah, read.
He comes and manifests himself here on the surface of the material planet. Every living entity has a tendency to hear pleasing message, and as such, almost every one of us is inclined to hear news and talks broadcast by the radio station. But the difficulty is that no one is satisfied at heart by hearing all those messages. The cause of such dissatisfaction is the incompatibility of the message with the innermost spectrum of the living soul. This transcendental literature is especially prepared by Srila Vyasadeva to give the uttermost satisfaction to the people in general by narration of the activities of the Lord. And instructed by Sri Narad Muni to Srila Vyasadeva, such activities of the Lord are principally of two varieties. One concerns the mundane manifestation of the material creative force, and the other deals with his pastime in the form of different incarnation in terms of the time and place. There are innumerable incarnations of the Lord, like the waves of the river flowing constantly in and out. Less intelligent persons take more interest in the creative force of the Lord in the material world. They put forward many theories of the creation in the name of scientific research. The devotees of the Lord, however, know well how the creative force works concurrently by the action and reaction of the material energy of the Lord. Therefore, they take more interest in the transcendental activities of the Lord as he incarnates himself on the surface of the material world. Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of such activity of the Lord, and people who take interest in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam clear their hearts of accumulated mundane filth. There are 1,001 rash literature on the market, but no one who has taken interest in Srimad Bhagavatam loses all interest in such filthy literatures. Sri Brahmaji is thus attempting to narrate the principal incarnation of the Lord so that they may be drunk by Narad as transcendental nectar. Thus, and the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the second canto, 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Purusha Sukta Confirm. Shri Prabhupada ki jai ho. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
So
Krishna.
Purusha Sukta confirm, that means Purusha avatars have been discussed in a very elaborate way. Purusha Sukta's Purusha incarnation for the purpose of the creation of this material world. So all the elements, everything has been described very nicely. So we will be taking the 7th chapter after some time. So you prepare. I'll let you know. If possible, we'll start also next week. Or you want a gap, study nicely till the 6th chapter, 4, 5, 6. I can give that also. And we have decided na exam. What was the date of the exam?
9th and 10th
9th
December.
and 10th. Yeah.
9th and 10th, we can keep exam. We can keep an off till the time, so that you can completely focus on 4th, 5th, and 6th chapter. Okay, any doubts?
Yes, Mataji. Yes,
I think
Mataji.
doubts you can
Mataji,
receive. Yeah.
Mataji, only one question can I ask? In
Yeah,
chapter,
to go for Laghu Bhagavad. Yeah.
in verse 42, Why they are saying Karanarna Vasai Vishnu? Everywhere in the
Because he is situated in the Karana ocean, Vasai. Karana Daksha is there.
Okay.
Karana
Okay,
Vasai
okay,
also
Mataji.
sometimes it is said, Vasati. Yes. Indranila Mataji.
Hare
The voice
Krishna,
is
Mataji.
not heard.
Mataji, in one of the verses we see that it's not audible,
Voice
Mataji.
is. Tell again.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Is it better? Yeah. Mataji, in one of the verses, there is reference of Uruge, which you said snake, and there is reference to Nagaloka also. So, what is the difference between the two?
There are upper planetary systems for even snakes also. There are lower degraded snakes. There are Nagalokas where there can be a human body and a head of a snake in this way. Or the Nagaloka where you have Naga Kanyas also, who are devotees of Krishna. Naga Kanyas, Gandharvas, like that Loka is also there for them. Where there are bodies of a Naga and the head of a human, that type of also species are there. And we know also how Naga Kanyas have been preached by Lakshmi ji in Nagaloka. Snakes are of this world, this material universe. They are also in material universe only. Lower, upper, different ways.
Achha. So much to know. Very good. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, for Nagakanya, there is a so wonderful song. Jada Kamada Chandi Jane Bada. In Gujarati, Mataji.
Okay. Panchatattva Shakti